Got it. Meeting streamlined. Yeah. Right. 3, 2, 1. Recording. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to one of the greatest weeks of our lives. If you are a Sheffield Eagles fan, I can't say better than that. Can you put anything better than that, mate?
No, it's one of the best. It's one of the best weeks we've had in terms of everything. I mean, there's been big games, there's been Wembley, there's been stuff, grand finals, but this is a different kind of brilliant, pal. A different kind of amazing.
I've never been. I mean, I've been to some events and I've been everything, but there's never been a better atmosphere. I've never seen a better atmosphere than that ever at a Sheffield Eagles game in my life, and I've been to some crackers. The atmosphere, the stadium, the friendliness, the warmth, everything from the moment I turned up there and it started to rain to the moment I went home, well, if I can remember, and then running up the road with you, 53 years old, nearly collapsing, trying to rush for a tram that was coming in a couple of minutes. The whole night was just mesmerizing. I can't speak highly enough of the club. I cannot. Every single person involved, that you guys, the supporters, everybody that was there. What a night! It's blue, and I even watched it last night. I'm gonna keep that recording forever on my Sky Q box now.
Yeah,
I will.
I didn't record it. I did see it last night, but the highlights are on YouTube, which is fine for me. But the flag, our little flag, well, your flag, you got it, was featured quite heavily. Everybody you could see, the background, Blazing Squad at the back got the faces on quite a lot as well. You asked me before we went on, when did it sink in, the reality of it? I think it was when I saw it on YouTube. I saw the highlights and I saw the Eagles playing on that pitch in front of all of us watching from that stand. And that's when it started to feel quite real. It's not, we know there's a few edges to finish on the stadium and whatnot, and we've got the capacity issues for the minute, but we've got to celebrate this for what it was, mate. We've got to celebrate it for the thing that we've been doing. I mean, how many weeks and weeks and weeks have we been saying, hang on, a little bit longer, we're almost there. We're there, we made it, we're here, we're home.
Yeah. I think the funniest thing is we've got to give a special mention. I've come up with a new nickname for everybody that goes on the hill. You've heard of the TV show Hill Street Blues? I'm calling it now Hill Street Red and Golds.
I don't think the Hill thing's going to kick on. I mean, the club even said, come and watch if you can.
Yeah. So
obviously, when we got the capacity problem sorted, you'll be able to come in and it'll all be fine. But I'll probably. I sat in the stand with you and the others because I wanted to on Monday, sorry. But more than likely, I'll probably go and stand on the hill on the far side myself because that's the thing we like to do. So, it's going to be fun. At least you can. And it answers the question, you can stand around the pitch anywhere you like. Just not in front of the stand, obviously, because his folk wants to see. But anywhere else is all fair game.
Yeah, it was amazing for 800 people. It was amazing for 800 people there. We've got to give a special mention. I've got to give a special mention to Kath Owen, who said, yeah, this is for you. And I'm like, what? Wow. The amount of people that talked to us, the amount of people that said they love this show, the amount of people that came up and just said, you do an amazing job. Love the interview with such and such. Love the interview with Baba Bada. Everybody that came up and saw me, they just said, not one person hated it. It just said, we love everything about the show. Everything. Oh, we're joined by Martin. Martin who?
Martin. Which Martin's this?
Yeah, Martin. Well, I just said everybody could come on and go on with their memories. I've got a feeling this might be a good one tonight. Yeah, Martin's connecting with his audio. I mean, everybody just clicked in and stuff, so it's coming on. But this is going to be a grand
coffee crisps.
Yeah.
Snacks.
Hello. You are live on Eagles Chat. Good evening.
Blue ribbon and orange clubs.
Oh,
Are we ordering the takeaway or what?
Are we ordering food on here?
Yeah, I'll have a margarita 14-inch, please, if we're
Martin, are you Martin? We're gonna have to disconnect you, mate, Martin. Yeah, I'll have to remove him. Sorry.
I think somebody's clicked the link by accident when trying to comment or something. But thanks
Yeah.
for dropping by, Martin. Whichever Martin.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. We now know what you're having for you. We now know what you're having for the takeaway. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I think that's just completely thrown me. I think Monday night. I mean, I got down there about evening, Andrew. We got down there about 4 o'clock. And all of a sudden, Tash through giving me things so I could get in with the mascot, and then just saw the merchandise there and everything. Had a nice little walk round, and evening, Alistair, and we just walked around the whole place.
Yeah.
And I went in the dressing room. I went in the Eagles dressing room. Wow.
Is it good? Is it all nice?
2 rooms. One side had all the shirts up and the kit, and the other room they had a circle of chairs all the way around. And then they had the board in the middle with the game plan and things like that. And I just went, I had a chat with Jed, and he's still coming on. And I had a chat with all the other folks. And then I went, this ain't my place. This is for coaching staff, management, and players. This ain't for me. I'm out. And I just walked out. And Richard Pepper went, what are you doing? I went, there's all these places in the world that I'd love to go to, but that's not for me. And he went, why? And I went, that's the Eagles, not me. That's Eagles. And he went, even after all these years, Dean, you still show bleeding. He said, you're a silly old bugger, aren't you? And I went, yes, but I show respect to them lads that wear that badge. I says, and that means to me, so I'm going to do that. And then Tash was telling me all night, right, this is how long it is before you get ready. Remember to put this on, I was on my way to get the flag, and then all I could see was Errol. No, we didn't see anything, Martin. We didn't see anything. We just heard you doing sorry about that. We didn't see anything, mate. We just heard you ordering a pizza or something like that, or food. But don't worry about it. Just let us know if you're coming on. And next thing we know is I was trying to get the flag so I could go out with a flag and everything, but Errol was coming the other way. And then all of a sudden, right, well, it's got to be done now. And then that's when we did the official passing of the torch, as they say, as the mascot, which everybody was shocked when it was Errol. Who voted Errol?
I think that's great. And I am going to call Zach that every time I see him now.
Oi. You're not supposed to tell people who it is. Number one rule of mascot, they're not supposed to know inside.
Well, he's blown it himself on Facebook, so, you know.
Yeah, but it shatters the illusion for the little kids.
You're a wrestling fan, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave that there. Right, so, yeah, I mean, when I first heard Errol, I thought, oh, okay. But then actually, it completely works, doesn't it? It's great. I love it.
The best of it is, I came out as Freddie, and I was walking up and down, and this one little kid, and he's going, chicken! And he's giving me that all night. Chicken! And I went, yeah, whatever. And then he was just laughing his head off, and everybody were laughing around him because I was taking it in good stead, and I went, whatever. But for that hour, it was amazing just to beat Freddie again. It was great. I loved every single minute of it. I don't know if any of it. I haven't heard if there was any teething troubles with anything. Everybody got collared with Denise with a golden gamble. I know that she collared everybody with that. I mean, if you got away with it,
I made sure I had a pound in my back pocket ready because there were no way I would get it. You can't go to Denise with a $5 and ask for change. She'll just give you 5 tickets. You know, it's not hard. So, so we're ready for that. I did nip in the club shop to see if they got a nuddy my size, but they haven't. I didn't bring enough cash for a shirt, so I need to do that next home game. I don't think you can pay card in there at the minute, but we'll.
No, I don't know what to do.
I know. We'll sort that out. Teething troubles, I don't know. I spoke to Mr. Hannigan after the game in the pub, and I said, "Did everything go all right?" And he went, "Yeah, just about. It's gone okay, as good as we could hope." I mean, I'm sure there were a couple of things that's
scoreboard.
But how? What?
Scoreboard.
Scoreboard. Well, yeah, I have to admit I lost count. I had to get the old phone out and check, but it's the first time we've had any kind of event there, so of course there's going to be things that we think, yeah, let's do that differently next time. But that's not a criticism. That's just part of learning, isn't it? You know.
I think me and Zach was involved in the meeting with all the stewards and everything like that, and all the security at the start.
You
And
mean
he said,
Errol?
"Oh, yeah, me and Errol, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
me and Errol. And next thing we know, it's everything like that. Andrew Morris, the main crisis was at the bar running out of sausage rolls at half time.
Oh dear.
Oh.
Well, now they know how many they need.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we were at this meeting and all these people, and the woman said to this bloke on the gate, she went, right, you've got the clicker. When it gets to 780, you've got to ring me because I've got to come and shut the gates. And he went, yeah, okay. 20 minutes later, I walked around the corner, same guy's on the gate, and he went, how many is it I've got to do? How many is it? 406? And I went, it's 780. Because how do you know that? I said, because I was stood next to you. And he's going, oh, yeah, it was 780, weren't it? Yeah, it was 780. Yeah. So, but the pies were great because you get a nice big choice of different pies. You had chicken balti, vegan, steak and onion, which I had. And then the beers were great. The free one was amazing. Because I thought the free, eh?
Of course it was. It was free.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a cup of tea or a coffee because I said to them, "Is the free drink a tea or coffee?" And they went, "No, it's everything." I went, "Beer." Oh my God. Boom. As soon as I got out of the mascot, it was like, boom, the beer. And then me and Errol recreated Wembley because when he had a pint of beer in his hand and he was offering it to the mascot, I couldn't accept it because the staff at Wembley told me off and everything. So we recreated it, but it was roles reversed. And I'm going, come on, Errol, come on. And he's like, and I'm going, no, you're in mascot uniform. And he's like, but the whole place, if that place was rocking with 800 people, what's it going to be like with 1,200, 15, 16? I know I'm going crazy, but surely that was the perfect bounce to see people in Sheffield going, oh, hold on a minute. This looks great. We want to be part of that. Kids before it, we've got to give a mention to all the teams that was there. The women, the women, the wheelchairs, the LD team.
The LD team were there as well. Yeah, I went in early to watch Leighton play. That was great to see him on the pitch. He absolutely loved it. Came off with a massive smile. And I got roped into doing the flag pull outs at the start because the learning disability team were doing the Eagles flag pull out just before the teams came out. But they didn't have enough people, so they wanted parents, adults, whoever. And Leighton just said to me, "Did I want to come and do it?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, of course I do." So I was actually at the back as they were pulling it out. So there were about 15 people around there doing that. And then as we're pulling them off, we're like, do we fold it up nice and neat or just chuck it in a bowl for someone else? We're like, well, team's running out and they're about to kick off, so just throw it in a bowl and let somebody else deal with it. Somebody else will line it. I assume they belong to Premier Sports and they wheel them out whenever they've got a game on telly. So yeah, we did that. That was all good. It was all just nicely organised. Nothing seemed to be, from the outside anyway, I might be wrong, but from the outside, nothing seemed to be a stress. There didn't seem to be people running around like headless fools. It all seemed to be quite in a stride and well, nicely done. And everyone at this club deserves all the credit in the world for making sure it went as well as it did, and everybody for turning up on time. Being patient with your tickets. Because obviously there's only like a gate open at the minute. That will change. I know there's a turnstile which we're not using yet, but we will get to that. But well done everybody for the way it went off. I think it's been a great advertisement for this club, and it shows you, as you're just saying, the atmosphere was wonderful. What did you think of the pyrotechnic fire?
Oh, I love the barbecues. I love them. I think there was a rumor that Premier Sports was telling the Eagles to stop scoring tries because they were using that much gas. It was going to cause a cost of crisis living thing for Premier Sports, and it was going to blow their budget. But it was nice to see the photograph with the ex-Eagles lads with Ollie and all with the two Faz's brothers and the ex-Eagles lads for Widnes. That was cool. I enjoyed that. Their number 8 of Widnes deserves a death wish for trying to pick on Thax. And when you watched it back, you could see what happened. That dummy by Thax when he threw it 3 times then it floated 1, 2, 3 and floated it. Unbelievable. Alistair says, honestly, I think £5 for the pint of John Smith is a little expensive. Just so Eagles get all the money for it. Would be nice for extra things like burgers and chips, hopefully in time. Alistair, come and live down south, mate. I can take you right now to my pub across the street from here in Cambridgeshire, and I will buy a pint, and it'll cost me about 5-6 quid. So to me, it was normal. So don't complain, because I know down here it's like you'll have to do a mortgage to go out for the night out down here. It's crazy, but it's the way it is.
It's the way it is. I mean, it was extra time doing it, and what a great job they did. Well done, everyone. Staff were great. You know, when you have these events, especially at new stadiums, you can often end up with, no offense intended here, but you can often end up with staff who are not fully trained in the job they're doing. Everybody who did that, everybody was brilliant. Well done, everyone.
Right.
And as regards £5 a pint, no, it's not ideal, but it's Cronenberg. You know, it's not Carlsberg or Carlin or some garbage. You know, not some rubbish. It's a nice pint. A fiver is a fiver, but that is just how it is now. You know.
Yeah.
And speaking of what you were saying, Deano, last time I was down in London a few months ago when I took Lado to Natural History, I snuck in. He wasn't unsupervised in the hotel room, by the way, but I snuck in the Euston Flyer for a quick shandy on the way back to the station, from the station, and I had a pint of London Pride, not London Pride, it's some London-based lager anyway, Camden or something. So I thought, well, local beer, this will not be expensive, no imports are all. Yeah, it was £6.50, so it was £6.50. It was nice, I think it were, but yeah, a fiver a pint is not terrible in the great scheme of the world up here.
Yeah.
I know it's not great, I know it's going up and up, but everything is. But as we've said, the club are getting a good cut, so it's all for a good cause. It's not like the water we used to have at Don Valley and the club got no. This is actually better, and the club gets some. So let's support them.
Yeah, Michael White says 8 quid for the purple shirt and a mug. I'll certainly not grumble at that. 8 quid for the shirt and a mug. Oh, but I've already got too many purple shirts.
You never have too many purple shirts. I've got two. I've ended up with. So
I've got last year. I think I've got 3 because I've got one that says Deano 42 on it, and then I've got the 2 of this year players. I've got 2 of the players. I'll not say which ones because I know.
You know which ones? You've mentioned it a few times.
Yeah, just a bit. I'm going to transfer my room. I'm going to turn my room into an Eagles room, definitely at one point, because there's too much wrong colours on this thing. Everybody thinks I'm support Castleford, for God's sake. I think Monday night we get to the game. It was Wembley all over again, weren't it? It was like, okay, they're 12-0 up. Here we go. And then I just went, it did same at Wembley. They just steamrolled us for the first 5-10 minutes and then click. Benz Jones Bishop, Jason Bass, Chris Wellen. Thax was pulling the strings. Isaac was doing his cracking best as usual. The forwards were doing their best and everything. And, amazing performance. But I think... Do you think Thax will get you? Do you think Thax will get you by the end of the season? The please don't go chance.
No, I think he's winding down. I asked him actually, and he's definitely done. Yeah, you're right. First 10 minutes, we made a couple of errors. We gave away a penalty. We had that knock on. They punished us for it. They were fresh. You know, they just got over. Maybe we had a bit of, I would say nerves, but maybe there was a bit of an occasion issue there. But I knew for a fact as soon as we clicked, I knew we'd be off. Once we got into that lead at half time, I didn't see us ever falling behind again. And, you know, what we've done is we've learned patience. We didn't force it. We just played the game at 12-0 down as we would have played it, and we gradually reeled them in. And it wasn't, I don't think it was a terribly dirty game. There were penalties given away. There were mistakes, but I don't think it was overly bad. But the ability got us there. Yeah, Thax, obviously brilliant. I think Jason Bass had his best game in an Eagles shirt so far. Isaac was excellent. He continues to improve all the time, and he needs to learn as much as he can off Thax while we've still got Thax. I can't pick on anyone, you know, and I wouldn't pick on anyone anyway. I'm not that kind. But yeah, I thought it was a good stand-up performance. Yes, it was a bit, you know, last 10 minutes were, but the game was won, job were done. We can afford ourselves that. And yeah, on we move. Tough game coming up against York. They're going to be really good. We know how good they are. They're third in the league, and they're hot on the heels of the top 2. Won't get them, but they're hot on the reels. It'll be a different game. It's going to be Thursday afternoon, isn't it? It's Jubilee Thursday at 3:00, isn't it?
Yeah, that next home game. Yeah, I'm just looking at.
Right. And then we've got Newcastle away, which is definitely winnable. And then after that, I'm not sure. I'll have to check calendar.
Right,
yeah, No complaints about the performance. Thought we played very well, handled the occasion, and everybody seemed to come off the pitch with a smile on their faces. You know,
Yeah. There's no games this week.
It
Oh,
was
it's
cup
cup final, isn't it?
Well,
Oh,
Scholars usually play it Friday night, but I don't think they are this time.
Yeah, they are. They're playing Oldham.
Are they? All right, yeah. That's a little tradition.
Brisbane.
I don't know why. I don't know if this is not allowed or whatever, but why can't other teams use the Sunday after the Challenge Cup final the Saturday to catch up postponed games?
I don't know.
We've got one that we need to catch up on, which looks like being a midweek in August, which frankly no one wants. Why can't we use that Sunday as a catch up? Because we've got the game against Batley.
The thing that's just me is whose idea was it to have 2 games in 4 days? We've got Thursday and then we've got Sunday. How comes that? What's all that about?
I don't know, because I thought we were just playing Thursday.
No. Gary, hold on, we've got a few questions here. The Michael White, we're going to come up with this in a minute, Michael, so don't worry, we will be talking about this in a bit. Alistair Wilson says the seats do have plenty of leg room and are comfy. Yep, I'll vouch for that.
I mean, it's not as big a problem for me because I'm vertically not as tall as some, so I've never found it a problem. But yeah, very generous leg room. I mean, comfy enough. Can't complain about that, can we?
And in answer to Gary, are the Eagles putting a coach on for the Challenge Cup final? The answer to that is we can't get a coach for the away games, so I definitely don't think we're going to get one for the cup final. And if we did, it would have been advertised now. We're 3 days before the final. So the answer to that, Gary, is a definite no.
I know some Eagles fans do go down for it each year, and that's brilliant. But there's not enough demand for that.
No. I think I've never. The only time I've ever seen coaches from Sheffield Eagles go to Challenge Cup final is 1998. Oh, and 2019 when we were there. Yeah.
I went a couple of times when Dave Butler was at the club and he was running them. 2005 York, 2005 Leeds only in Cardiff I went, and 2006 St Helens against them at Twickenham. I went to them 2 on a club coach. So we have done it before when we had more demand.
Yeah. But I think we're gonna have to talk about that as well. What happened this week with the RFL? Oh my God, what a palaver that was. Oh dear. I think playing 2 games in 4 days. We're playing on the 2nd of June, which is the Thursday, and then we're playing on the Sunday, Newcastle. So we've got York at home, which is the next game, and then recovery wise, Friday, Saturday, and then you're playing Sunday.
Is this a new thing, that? Because I remember a good few years back, we'd play Good Friday and Bank Holiday Monday over Easter. Then they dropped it to just 1 game, but now it's a bit different again. I mean, I know what facts are saying.
Yeah, the game's faster, the people are stronger, the collisions are harder, and everything. But they just cut down for the thing. They just cut down for the bloody time on it. And Andrew Morris just said it's just for Jubilee weekend. Yeah, okay. But I think you're asking semi-professional players, part-time players, right? They've got jobs. So they've got to work Thursday and come down to Sheffield when they can. Then they've got recovery, which is Friday, which for most of them will involve a working day. If it's Bank Holiday Jubilee weekend, some people work anyway. You've got Saturday, that'll be a day off, and then they're playing again Sunday. So recovery next week, the week after that. The only good thing is that's 2 of the 4 games that were without Joel and Mikey without. It's a bank holiday. Tasha's just, good evening, Tasha. It's a bank holiday Thursday. She just says bank holiday Thursday as well. Good evening, Tasha. Thank you, my love. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, what you did for me. I will never forget it. And look, just for you.
Oh, God, he's getting undressed.
Where's me at, though?
Well, you should have took it off first.
Ha, ha, ha. My Freddie jersey. I got my my match worn at Wembley.
The Wembley match worn Eagles shirt, yes.
Wembley match worn Shepherd Eagles jersey at Wembley. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
I can't believe it. This is one hell of a stretch jersey. I mean, you should have. Right. This is a funny story. Tash offered me the whole outfit. Offered me everything to do with Freddie. She says, if you want to take it, it's yours. Take the whole lot. Can you? Right. I'm going to say this slow. I'm going to say this right. I had to get on 2 trains coming home and then explain to my wife that I've got an egg that looks like an eagle, that's supposed to look like an eagle, and his whole outfit in this room. Yeah, I can't do that. I couldn't have fetched it down. I used to take the Eagle Man outfit around with me before when I lived in Sheffield, but that's when I lived in Sheffield. But I couldn't do it this time. I really, really couldn't. I could not turn up at Travel Lodge with a full Eagleman outfit when I was going to go to bed that night. That'd have been walk through the door dressed as Freddy. On a Monday night, you could just see people going, what the heck? Whoa, 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 whoa. That would have been funny coming on the tram back with you. That would have been hilarious, that one.
Not for me.
Can you imagine the conductor? What the hell? But no, it was a great day. I loved it. I'm very, very pleased that I got me to keep this. I'm buzzing the fact that I've got this one now. I really am. But Tash, thank you very much for everything you did on the Monday. You did an amazing job with Errol. Fancy naming him after the hot chocolate singer.
Yeah, Errol Flynn. Errol Flynn.
Errol Brown.
Errol Brown. Errol Flynn. Where did I get that from? Errol Brown. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think it should come out to I believe in miracles. Oh yeah, but honest, I think the PA system guy, we've got to give a big, massive thank you, a massive utmost for the gentleman that said all the thing about Ian Annis and all the people that were no longer here before it. The piece in the program was fantastic. Lots of people that have passed away that are no longer here, and we had the Minutes Niners. We need to teach you how to catch a ball. What do you mean, me? Whoa, what do you mean me? I couldn't see nothing from that outfit. It's gone. Thank God for that. But the Eagles promised they'd do it. Mark said they'd do it, and then they did it, and it was fantastic. The fact that we paid us all respects to the people that have lost, that no longer here through different things over the last couple of years, and that really meant a lot to a lot of fans and a lot of people that connected with the club. It was nice to see Liam, weren't it? I mean, Liam was there. Liam Clafley, he was there in a nice way.
He was sat near us. Yeah, I didn't speak to. I didn't get a chance to speak to him because he was busy. But yeah, it's he summed it up best on his post when he said it was great. He feels a great sense of pride for his part he played in getting that done, and now we can enjoy it as a fan. And I think he did most certainly, like we all did. Yeah. So yeah, Liam's got to be thought of when we think of all the people who helped get this done.
Yeah. Martin Dillagaff says John Hitchin was the announcer, and it means Tasha nearly got wiped out by the ball. So that's why he said she nearly got wiped. She should have learned how to catch a ball. Tasha did an amazing job. If anybody wants to see somebody running around before the match, Tasha was the queen of all queens. She was amazing for that. Well done, sweetheart. You did a fantastic job. In fact, I don't think there was one person who didn't do a fantastic job on that day. Everybody did. I think I love the comment in the page before the match. Who's going to have the first dump in the toilets?
Well, yeah, it wasn't me. For me, after all.
Absolutely fair class. I love the pies. I thought they were great. I'll give the full. I mean, like we said about the extra time staff, it was nice to have people that knew what they were doing. It weren't like a 16-year-old person that you get at other grounds that go, it's only the first time. I don't know what I'm doing. There was a lot, and it just, to me, to see everything that happened, it looked so, for me, I mean, I've been there for years, so I can't speak, but aside of what it was to what it was now, it looked so much more professional in as a unit. The stadium, the staff, the drinks, everything was so spot on and professional that it wiped the floor with anything I've ever seen before. And that includes Don Valley Stadium, that includes everything. The atmosphere, everybody got a concern with that. That was out of this. That was amazing out of that thing. I can't speak highly enough of everybody concerned with you. I mean, you, the fans, with Mick Courtney, Becca, all the people I sat around. You guys were amazing. A woman plumped a bloody big cowboy out on my head. I don't know. I thought it was cats, and she said, "Well, I haven't made that." So I just thought, well, I don't know. Was it? Well, I'm not coming home. I'm not wearing a cap.
A few cowboy hats going around, weren't they?
They were amazing everywhere.
I don't know where's the cowboy hat thing come from, or is it just a novelty? Because
I think it's Kath Owen.
Wild West, have we?
I think Kath Owen does it. She's the one that started it all out. I mean, she's a famous one that started the drums in the 90s. And then everything. Good evening, Chris. Hope you are well, my man.
Good to see you Monday, Chris. For long. I know you don't live around here now. It's good to have a good catch up, mate.
One of the funniest things of the night, and not a lot of people saw this, but before this game starts and everything, and all the kids, Dodder, Hawks, and Forgers, we're all mingling outside, and all little kids. And love the Dodder construction shirt. I think that would look great. And the Forgers were walking down, and one of their kids shouts, "Oh, look, it's the cheerleaders. We're going to smash you." And this is from an under-10s player or something like that. And Dodder's kid turned around and just shouted, "Bring it on, I'll crush you with my hands." And I'm like, this is under-10s. This is under-10s. And look at them, they're niggling already. So
I love the intensity.
It was fantastic to see all these kids going to go, "I'm going to crush you. I'm going to break your skull." And things like that. But I had my photograph took with the World Cup, but apparently this was sending all the photos to the club. So that. But the face painter was amazing. All the glitter on people's faces and putting the eagle. That was fantastic. That was another well done for the club.
I avoided that. I mean, I've got a lot more skin available on my head now than I used to a few years back. Yeah. But I resisted the temptation to have it done. But it did look great. Well done. That was another nice little touch. When I got there, Tash was like, there was an inflatable thing outside for the kiddies to play on. And she just says to me, "We spent loads of money on that, and there's only adults playing with it." I didn't notice it, actually.
Oh.
Kids of that.
The amount of times people were going, "Sammy the Snake," and I'm like, "Oh yeah. God, Phoenix Nights again."
It's a staple joke. Got the other one in the van. Do you want to see it?
Oh no, brilliant. Andrew Morris says the LDRL team, I think, got the biggest cheer of the night. The smiles on their faces. Only my criticism, that big lad that would kept dancing with the ball, and he thought it was Ellery Hanley at one bit. Everyone's going, "Give him the rest of the ball, you hogger. Give him the ball." That was brilliant. Are there plans for the scoreboard? The only thing lacking for me, a minor thing though. Yep, apparently there is a scoreboard coming, but we don't know yet. If you lose count, do what this gentleman did. Just go on our league.
I think we've got to have one. I don't know what the plan is. I'm not in on that, but I think that we will. I mean, it's not as bad as it used to be when we had the board at Don Valley and then it ran out and we never got it fixed, and we had to have a little whatever the hell that thing was. I mean, everybody's got a phone. You can look at the score if you need, but yeah, I get what you're saying. We will get that done, but at the moment we're an infant who's starting to walk. We're not in the Olympic games,
we're not there yet. We've had one game. There is going to be teething problems. There is going to things that go wrong. We just want to remember it's a work in progress, and that work is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
There will 100% be a fantastic scoreboard soon. I remember the scoreboard at Oulton Stadium when it used to be a scaffolding, and this is no lie. They used to push it. It was on a set of 4 wheels, and you had to take off the number and hook it back on. And there were 2 lads, rain, snow, blow, didn't matter what the weather. There were 2 lads that would stand there, and they used to wheel it thing. And then whenever they try it, they used to go up and change the score. And that was a Sheffield Eagles scoreboard. Superb in them days.
A lot of clubs, Halifax especially, still have a one where they have a lad or a kid who changes the numbers by hand. So I don't think when we've got some at the same way us, I don't think anybody's in the right mind to criticise that. Because
I think
a lot of clubs don't have them, so we're not all like Lee and Featherstone. Even Halifax, big name there, they still do it by hand. So
I think we're going to go on about this for most at night. I know we are. Announcement today that Joel Farrell and Mikey Wood have both been suspended for 4 games. It is what it is. We thought it'd be 8 games for Mikey. It got done down to a grade D on appeal.
Yeah, it was an F, which is the worst, and
8 matches plus, yeah.
And it was a landed punch, so yeah. But that got downgraded to a D, and also Super Joe was a D as well. 4 games. We've got to take it on chin. We've got to move on. We can't do all about it. We've got to deal with it. And this is the time. This is the time when we deal with it.
Yeah. And by the way, his name is Super Joe. Look, there you go. There you go. Look, it is Super Joe. That'll be worn at my next game. I'm not doing any more retros. The amount of people that wanted my Lawless jersey, not happening. The amount of different jerseys were great. I think I saw one from the Millennium season.
We need to just mention this, don't we? The club said, bring out your old jerseys, and boy, everybody didn't lose the challenge. I saw just about every single one, including some that were never sold, and obviously were player jerseys.
Yeah.
There was the rather bizarre blue and white hoop kit from 2016 that we had. That I don't think it was ever sold to the public. And a fella had one, and it was a player shirt. I very nearly asked if I could buy it.
Yeah, Aston. It were Corey Aston's,
It were Corey's, weren't it? So I ain't parting with that. But there were loads about, and you could literally line everybody up from our history. Michael Stringer's a friend, fellow I know, friend of mine. He actually told me that he was going to come in my least favourite kit ever. And then when he got there, he showed it me, and I'm like, get that monstrosity out of there. For those who don't know, it was the 2002 kit, the 3rd one we had after we reformed. And it was, I don't know who the company who made it was, Optimum Sports. They must have been they must have been like in a clubhouse in a tree or something. The shirt quality was quite naff. It was red down to about here, and then yellow, white, and then bright yellow all the way down. It was horrible. And I've actually got one, funnily enough. It's signed by the team. I will wear it one day. But and Michael wore the away kit for that one, which were like blue and green, but the same colour. And he was just like, get that monstrosity away from me. But in all seriousness, what a collection of shirts we had. And on the telly, it looked incredible. So I was saying about Retro Shirts Day at the Summer Bash, stuff that, do it all the time. Do it all the time.
First home game of every season, Retro Shirt Night. I think that'd be a great one. Well, first, well, tell you what, just do whatever you want.
Do it all the
atmosphere, the atmosphere and everything. I think everybody, Mark Hannigan, Mark Aston, Tash, the office, every person that built that up for weeks. Wednesday, everybody was, last Wednesday, look what a difference a week makes. This time last week, we got told that there was a limited capacity and everybody was going mental. But me included, everyone was going, how are we going to manage this? How's this going to go? And then you look what happened on Monday. And we are still buzzing right now, right? And I can't wait to go to another game. I'm looking at my pennies. I'm looking and saying, I wonder if I can get a train up there, another one for 13 quid return. I'm looking at every opportunity I can. But I know for a fact, my next game I'm doing is either going to be Summer Bash or it's London. But I'm hoping definitely London.
London's first and Summer Bash is end of July.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to see if I can do both.
As we spoke about London, it's easier now. I know they've announced train strikes today, but you know they'll not all happen because they can't. So London is obviously a doer. Summer Bash is in Leeds. That'll be easy, nice and easy for you, or should be.
I think Andrew's just said in the chat room, can we get Miss Hannigan to get some of the white shirts or polo shirts as merch? They're really nice. I think the best thing to do with them, Andrew, is leave them as staff. Because if the people are wearing them on the match days, of the white polo shirts and everything, then at least we know the staff. And I think there's some things in this world that should stay as staff. And I think the white shirts and the polo shirts with the Eagles, I think let's just leave them to the staff. Don't sell everything. I think the white polo shirts should be the people that then we know that they're staff on the day. So otherwise we can't tell difference really.
Yeah. If you really want one, I expect the club will probably have a few spare for the staff. Just email them at the end of the season and ask if they've got any. And I'm sure Mr. Aston will tell you one. You know, the club don't. I don't know about now, but the club didn't used to keep a lot of old stuff. They'd just sell it off for nice and cheap. I know they were them brilliant grey polos for Wembley that no one ever wanted to sell because they were that good. But the club didn't sell them. The club never sold them.
No.
They would have sold loads of those. But things like that, if there's any spares at the end of the year, you know, I'm sure Tubby will leave you some of your hard-earned for it.
Yeah, good to the player of the year, do. I think that we might get a stall up or something like that and get all end of season stock, get rid of it that night. I think that'd be great. Hey, that's a good idea. Get a table up at the end of season, do.
If Tasha's still listening, there's an official pitch. Sell off all the jobs you don't need. Yeah, I'm sure me and Dean will happily buy some of it, you know. But
So,
as Michael just said then, you know, there's things that people want, and if you don't need it anymore at the end of the year, then sell it, you know. It's all money.
yeah. And we can officially announce we've got a world exclusive.
Oh, God.
Eagles Chat now has changed player sponsors.
Oh, right, yeah, okay, I know about this.
Due to the unfortunate departure of Mr. Liam Johnson, we had a chat with Mark Hannigan last week about this and he said, very simply, you can do it. He said, you can have you gave us a choice of players and we feel it should be our homegrown player. And it feels like the lad that came from the academy, the reserves, he went away, he's come back. I think we now are the official player sponsor away shirt of Kadeem Williams. These ours. So we can guess who we're going to try and get on the show or something. Yeah. But travel mugs for work.
Yeah. We may have another guest coming on the show soon. I don't want to give too much away, but we may have another former player of the grand final winning era who might be coming on the show soon.
Yeah, makes good relish.
Makes very excellent relish. He's the most Scottish Australian or Australian Scottish you'll ever meet. I'm sure I've given it away now, but if I've been in touch and he's responded favourably, so we'll hopefully try and get him on the show soon. It will be great to speak to him.
Yeah, and also the fact that I wonder what he thought watching QLT on Monday because he's head of rugby at Keighley, isn't he? Now.
Oh yes, he is. Yeah.
So I wonder what he thought of watching QLT on Monday. Going, oh, I think we'll have to call him back. Please don't. Please don't. You're winning. You're top of the table. No.
Don't call him back, please.
I think QLT was very shocked on Monday because when the match was finished, he had this big, massive, beaming smile, didn't he? When he was walking down, and we all going Q. I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't sleep Monday night. I went back to my hotel room and I had a can of energy drink and I was buzzing for the whole night.
What are you doing sleep? Excuse my French, having a can of energy drink?
It was half a can left. And I had it and I was buzzing. I was buzzing that much. I watched one of the early episodes of Bullseye on Challenge TV in the hotel room at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I finally got to sleep about 2 o'clock, about 12:30 when I was on my train going home. That's the only time I slept. And then I slept last night as well. So I was buzzing. And then I messaged him this morning and I went, can't wait a week. We can't wait till next week. No, I can't do it. We can't do it. So we were surprised tonight.
It was great as well to see so many of our older players back at OLP on Monday for it. I spoke to Missy was there. I spoke to Greg Burns. Corey Aston was there. Said hello to him. There were quite a few came down who might live locally or whatever. I don't know. But it was great to see them come back and see what it's all about. And you never know, might make the way back here one day. 40 years old, still tearing it up. An absolute legend he is.
Yeah, Eddie Batty as well. I mean, Eddie Batty had the audacity to turn down Katie Pete. Must be the first male ever. Must be the first male in the history of the world that turned down Katie. Ever. Oh my God. Oh my God. And I mean that in the nicest way term possible. But I think over and all, I mean, the floodlights look great when the lights in the stand lit up. Oh my god!
That was great, wasn't it?
Martin Brooks said he loved it as well because he was there. Martin, it just looked like who watched it on Free Sports. I mean, who actually watched it last night? Because I did. I've got it recorded, so I'm going to watch it forever.
Yeah. I'm sorry I didn't get to see you on Monday, Martin. I couldn't find
No,
you.
I
don't know
didn't.
where you were, but yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not. I wasn't being ignorant. I tried to speak to everybody who I know. But we'll catch up soon, Martin. I know you've not been able to get, and it's wonderful to see you back and to see you that you are on the mend. And we send our best to you as we always have. And ring me anytime if you want to talk. There's always some fat to chew, isn't there?
Yeah, and I think that I mean, we've been to so many games, and everybody's complaining that you'll never get an atmosphere at Sheffield Eagles. That has just been blown out of the sky. Surely, even everybody on Premier Sports heard it. Everything we looked about it, it looked fantastic. And then, if anybody's wondering where the flag is, it's been given to Katie, and I made a promise that he'll be there at every home game from now on. I can't be there at every home game, so the flag will be. So I gave it to Katie, and she's promised me that the flag, if she's not there, she'll give it to somebody. But every home game, it will have that flag that says "Welcome home, Sheffield Eagles," and that's it. You couldn't miss it, could you? On everything, every time you look, it was just this big, massive flag in the middle of the stand.
I'm going on the telly a bit, yeah. You just see my bald patch over the top of it, yeah.
The person that made the flag, he sent me a message, and he just says, "I watched the game." He says, "You don't know how wonderful I saw when I kept." He says, "Every time I'm looking, I'm going, there's the flag. That's the flag I made." And he's getting his wife, and he's going, "Look, I made that flag." Look, there she went. And at the end of the night, she's going to him, "Yes, I know you made that flag. Stop telling me, will you? Stop telling me." But he says, that flag, every time you looked at it, it was on TV. He said, "Looked amazing." I said, "Well, you did it. Thank you so much." I am having a new one made, but this one's going to say Eagles Chat on it. And I'm going to make sure that it's all over this room. But I will have a new one made anyway. So, and if anybody wants a flag made, let me know. I'll get in contact with the gentleman that makes them. He'll do any design you wish, as long as it's no swearing or anything like that. It was fantastic. It was absolutely brilliant the whole night.
I'll be right back. Carry on. I'll just be right back.
And excuse me, I'll take. I think, and also the kindness that was shown towards me, I'm blown away. All the people that said they loved the show. They loved all the interviews. They loved the fact that we've got this great format now. And I really did. I was very, very emotional at times when complete strangers come up and went, "Hey, Deano, love your Eagles chat. We love it to bits." And that means the world. I started doing this 6-7 years ago now. I think it was 2016 I started doing this. And the first ever episode was me wearing a Star Wars t-shirt and a beanie hat, and had not one bit of Eagles merchandise on me. And then that changed it and everything. And I remember one episode wearing a Bradford Bulls jersey because I was in support because they were in administration. That episode's been deleted because no way will I ever be, never after what they pulled and everything like that since. I'll never wear a...
You put it in the bin, didn't you?
Hey?
I remember you put it in the bin, didn't you, that shirt?
Yeah.
Did it like that comment I made? Their Twitter told me off. I made a comment when Bradford were in administration just before they went bust. You were wearing a Bradford shirt on the show, and I think I commented something to the effect of, "That shirt's worth more than the club it represents." And that upset a few people, but I have no regrets.
No. We've also got to give a mention to the gentleman from Widnes on Twitter, who decided to say, "You only beat our worst ever Widnes team." Look, there's a towel here. Do you want to cry on it?
Well, there's many Walkers make many different types of flavors of crisps, and he had to pick salty, didn't he? Yeah, just have beef and onion there. Have them in there.
We've also got to go special. We keep mentioning all these people, but we've got to mention the media lads, Alex, Lois, Dan, who did a wonderful job of everything to do with social media. The whole thing, it was just spot on for a lot of them. A lot of tears shed in the library afterwards. That was a great night in there. if you ever want to go in after the match, please, I recommend that place. It was great. When Tubby came in, the place exploded, and he was bouncing off he could have bounced off them walls for about 8-9 hours.
Yeah, I mean, Tubby came in and he was talking to all the folk who are involved with the club, like directors, sponsors, whatnot. That's fine. Me and you sort of, I don't approach him overly. If he wants to talk to me, we'll say hello with that. But I don't approach people when they're busy. And we were getting ready to go, and Tubby's like, "Girl, come here! You're not going without talking to me." So it was. I do recommend. Obviously, there's not much in the way of pubs nearby. I mean, the Liverpool club's gone. All the other stuff like Farrah's is long gone, and Cocktat. So the library is what we've got now. Obviously, drink at the ground because they get your money. But if you want, the library's there. It's good. They've sorted out the issues they had before when they were short of stuff, but it's all good now. It's all been sorted. Because we've got I don't think there's any kind of agreement officially anything with them, but we should show our support for them because they weren't even sure if they needed to open before the game on Monday. And I'm happy to say that it was very busy in there before the game Monday. So we should support them for sticking by us. I just want to say about the media guys. Obviously, we had Dan on last week. He was a great chat. I know Lewis and Alex as well. The Eagle Eye stuff that we do from behind the sticks, and without all the editing, I think that is some of the best content we've ever had on our social channels. It's just a complete fan's eye view of the game, and you can see and hear everything. It's almost as if you're there. I absolutely love it. And whoever came up with that, you deserve a prize because it's a great idea, and I absolutely think it's fantastic.
Andrew Morris says we need to persuade the library to open after the game, as they're only open 2 days a week. But from my recollection, I was in there after the game, and so was a lot of other people in there after the game. So I think.
Well, I don't know their opening hours, granted, but I would think that if there's an Eagles game, I think they will open for us because there is custom right there. So surely they will. Yeah.
I think the most random person we talked to, I think we talked to Tubby, was the gentleman from GRI Group.
Oh, Mr. Royal, he's good actually. Yeah, he talks to the fans. If you go a lot. I mean, he's been a big supporter of the club as well as being a sponsor.
Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said to us? We went to the airport and we said, and Tubby says, these guys do Eagles chat, and he went, "Why aren't you wearing my stuff on your chat show? Why isn't there no mention of my team?"
Hang on a minute. I will address
that. And I'm like, there you go, look, GRI Group. And I'm like, there we go. We've got it both. We've got it both.
And I did say you're welcome on the show any time, and he said after what I might do. But I do remember, I do. Yeah, he's him and David Kearns as well, who works with him at GRI. He's always approachable. He's always spoke to me. I actually saw Mr. Kearns in France, in Toulouse years ago. We got talking. So him and I think he's a friend of Ian Swires as well. So these are long-term fans and friends of the club who've been sponsors, and these are the people that we need. Now with the regrowing phase, the sponsors have backed us all the way through, not having a home and being nomads and high expense of renting grounds. And we can only say thank you for sticking with the club. And now is the time when we can repay that faith to them by having his own corporate section at the new ground and being able to entertain your guests and such. Because corporate, when we were at Don Valley, corporate was a massive part of our income, and we've not been able to capitalise on that as much as we had before. So now's the time to strike with that.
Other thing about Monday I remember is when the final whistle went and it showed you Tubby walking down the set, he had a face like thunder. And because you could look at him going, they conceded 2 late tries, didn't they? He ain't happy. Look at that. And he was walking down and he's like, not happy at all here. And I'm like, we've just won, but he's already going, look what we did.
He's a perfectionist, isn't he? Which is not a criticism. It's just how he is. But of course, But I thought Tubby spoke brilliantly after the game. I've seen his interview on Premier Sports with Hendo and Kevin and the lady whose name I can't remember, Emma, isn't it, the host? And he spoke brilliantly, and you can tell, even after a game when the emotions are high, and I mean, Tubby's emotions are high all the time, but I mean, especially after a game when we'd won and such an event, I thought he spoke brilliantly about everything. Us, the fans, the team, and the setup, and the staff. He really, really did come across so well. And that's what it means. That's what it means to everybody. Imagine being a football fan and hating the manager of your team, and being Wednesday fans, we've had this scenario, haven't we, quite a lot.
Yeah,
But-
just a bit. Yeah.
Imagine, Wednesday having a manager like that. Sports could learn a lot from people like him.
Yeah, I think when and if and when that day does come, when Tubby says I'm going to retire, whoever takes over is going to have about 7 or 8 different hats, because the job that Tubby does, it's not worth for one man. It's 6, 7, 8, because I've never known anything. I think the only person who didn't get interviewed from the office on Premier Sports was our friend Tash, because Mark Hannigan was on the TV and so was Tubby. I think Tash was running around like crazy on Monday, and she was great. Considering that's her first I think that's the first home match she's ever done when she's been in charge of the office and all that. She did an amazing job. She was so professional and everything what she did. Everything. We've got to talk about him. We've got to talk, because there was such a build up to it. Nobody knew what he looked like. Nobody knew what he was going to be. And then at 7 o'clock, I said goodbye. I waved. I said goodbye. And Errol appeared. And it's an eagle. Can't knock it.
It looks great. I think
it looks fantastic.
It's an absolute eagle, isn't it? I think it's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't saying I know, what you expect. I wasn't thinking about it too much. But then when he came out, and obviously I know who's in it, but it actually looks like a proper eagle. It's not like one of these. You see some mascots that are just horrible, and this has been brilliantly done. And do you see how popular it were with young ones when it was going around?
Oh God, yeah.
They all wanted a piece of it. So
I must have had my photo took about 10, 11 times with kids. They loved it, and I'm like, and they went, hold on, some things never change here, and kids just come up and went, can we have a photograph? Yeah, come on, help yourself, come on, let's do it. So kids, a mascot, you put a mascot in there, kids will love it forever, and it's something that they'll always remember. And I'm like, I've got a photograph with mascot, and it's. To the lad that's doing it, God bless you, my man. I officially now done. That's me. I walked away. I'll be straight. Yes, I did have a shed of tear when I was when I was taking it off. I did do a bit of a tear, because I knew it was the last time I was taking everything off, and I put it in the bag, and I must admit I was doing everything I could to put it in the bag and make sure everything was nice. And I came out and I had my gear on and everything, and I thought, that's it. It's no longer Freddie Eagle anymore. It's Errol. God bless him and all that does him. I mean, amazing costume. Amazing to get in it. Lycra. That's a new material for the mascot outfit. But fantastic to see it. Fantastic to everything to do with it. It was amazing. Errol, here's to many more years of your pal. You're doing a cracking job. You'll be amazing. I think best one I heard, he goes, I said, have you heard about the rules for being a mascot? And he went, oh yeah, I've read the RFL rule book for mascots. And I went, what?
There's an RFL rule book for
mascots. There is and I'm going to search for this and I'm going to find it. There is a guidebook for mascots by the RFL. I went, are you serious? And he went, yeah. And even Tash said it. Yes, there is a guidebook for mascots with the RFL. Talking of which, did you see the almighty cock up by the RFL at the weekend that they were giving away?
They're well known for him.
With the code GOOD100. Did anybody see this?
Oh, well. Well, briefly touch on this before we wind up. A code got out there that was apparently only supposed to be used by certain folk, medical staff, hospital people, whoever. I don't know the full. But apparently got into the public domain and people were getting free tickets. Now, the RFL have turned around and said, well, anybody that did a ticket through that who's not entitled to one will have the ticket cancelled. I think they may have a legal issue with that, because did they advertise it was for NHS staff or whatever it was? No. It was a code that was out there in the public domain, and it wasn't restricted. You didn't have to enter any proof, and it wasn't said, this is only So I think they may have a legal problem.
Yeah, I did it on Sunday because I wonder what I can get. And I went straight in and I clicked on 2 tickets, nearest to the front I could get. and they were £55 each. And I went in and it went, go to checkout, and the checkout was there, and it said, put in the code. And then it just said, and I put in the code what it was. And then all of a sudden, I think I showed you the screenshot because I went and it went checkout minus £110 for 2 free tickets for the Challenge Cup final. And all I had to do was press checkout, and I go, but I couldn't go. I couldn't go because there was no chance of me doing this Saturday. But it was so easy. And then half an hour later, oh, there's been an almighty glitch. You're not allowed to do it. You're going to have your ticket stopped. And there were people who in half an hour, now this has really, really got my goat. Right? They said, oh, I've got the tickets and I've booked my travel down and I've booked my hotel all in half an hour.
Yeah.
They've spent all this money. And I went, and I'm not saying where they come from, but it's one of the 2 finalists and it ain't the one from Lancashire. Let's just say. And I said, I was like, well, hold on. They were just pandemonium. But then the same name kept coming up in it. Sack him. Sack Rimmer. It's another one again. I'm like, I'm not saying a word here.
I don't want to get into too much of an ugly, slinging contest about this, but I think the RFL, I personally think the RFL might have to honour those tickets. The other thing is, it just shows you that sales are obviously not going that well, are they?
No, they're not at all.
55 quid in the current climate to travel all the way to London for a game of rugby. I know it's the cup final, and I know it's not even at Wembley, it's Tottenham in it, but I know they've got to pay a rental, but I think 55 quid's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think that's the issue. I think it's affordability. I think people want to go, but I think it's just a lot of money for some folk. And there's probably fans of the finalists who aren't going for that very reason.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. I think I know everybody said about when we took about 8,000-9,000 down for our cup final in '98, and then we took less than 1,500 to the 1895. If I'm got my facts right, I know I haven't, but I'm just guessing there were 1,500 or something like that. I went, but it'd be interesting to see how many come down from Yorkshire and then Lancashire. I mean, Wigan will take down the Lords. They always do.
They'll do there, and they always do. It's Wigan.
They always will. So it'd be interesting to see how many of the other lot that go down. Everybody knows who I'm on about. But Andrew Morris has just said, have a look on Total RL and you will see the threads about it. But they have realised that the ground is all self-scan. So they can't confirm the tickets because all they've got to do is scan the tickets onto the thing. So
they can program the turnstile to reject them, but is anybody really going to go to all that trouble?
I mean, when we was there in 2019 and they had the whole top thing of Wembley blocked off, they said because they couldn't sell the tickets for the final, and the whole of the top of Wembley was covered with all the badges of all the teams in rugby.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what happened here? Can't we sell out Wembley anymore? Has this game gone to so bad that we can't sell out Wembley?
I think there's many factors. I hope I'm wrong when I said that the Challenge Cup might be losing its edge a little bit because the finalists tend to come from a pot of about 6 teams. And even a couple of Saints fans we spoke to at Wembley in 2019 said it's getting expensive doing this every year because we've got this grand final, which is a spend. And I said, well, that's an embarrassment to riches. And he went, yeah, but it's all money and it's not, you don't grow on trees, so to speak. So. Yeah, I'm not saying we shouldn't have it at Wembley. I'm not saying we shouldn't have it in London. What I'm saying is the RFL needs to look at how they do it. They need to have better ticket deals. It needs to be. I think one of the other problems is the semi-finals are too close to the final, and it doesn't give people a chance to sort the money or plan it or do it in the way they want. You can't plan on if your team might get there. Because would Saints have thought at the start of the year, oh, we're definitely going to be at Wembley, let's book everything, and now they're not there. I think the semi-finals are too close to the final in the same month, effectively, because the semis were at the start of May and the finals at the end of May. People might not get paid in that gap, so it's an expense, and it's that's just my 2 pence.
In '98, we had the semi-final last week in March, and then the final was May 2nd. We had about 6 weeks. There was 6 weeks between the semi and the final.
Well, when we had the 1895 final, I'm sure we had a clean month to organise that, didn't we?
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. But it's
But
RFL, isn't it?
this weren't that. This were less, and
Yeah.
because we've had to move the cup final to earlier in the year because some people didn't book Wembley. But yeah.
Oh yeah, I've just had a quick look at the fixtures next week on the 2nd of June. Relegation decider, this one. Workington versus London, 12:30 kickoff.
Well, if Workington don't win that one, they'll never win a game because London at the moment are in a bad place and the free falling. The coach is just gone.
Yeah.
So and assistant coach who's his brother will have gone and somebody else will have gone. So they're
Two words. Two words. John Keir.
Yeah. Well, could they afford him? I mean, he's the ideal.
They said full time. They said they're going to hire a full-time coach.
But is John going to move down there? Is respectfully? I'm not saying he's old, but is he going to want to move down there at this age to do that? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's for him.
Yeah.
I think he wants to do it, but I think not at the minute. No.
Yeah. If anybody's got any NRL ambitions for the next few days, tomorrow morning at 10 to 11, it's Melbourne Storm versus Manly. Friday, Penrith are playing Broncos at 9 o'clock, and Penrith are playing Queensland Cowboys at 9 a.m. And on at 10:55, it's Brisbane Broncos versus Gold Coast Titans. And then at night, you've got London Scholars versus Oldham. On Saturday, we've got in the NRL, New Zealand Warriors versus Newcastle Knights at 6 a.m. South Sydney Rabbitohs, free fall versus the West Tigers at 8:30. That'll be a humdinger.
Oh, the Tigers turn them over.
Cronulla Sharks versus Sydney Roosters at 10:35. You've got the Challenge Cup final between that team from West Yorkshire and Wigan. And at 12 midday, it's the 1895 Cup final. Featherstone v Lee. Who you got?
I've got Fev. I think it's Fev.
Yeah. Apparently, everybody was singing the praises of Blake Ferguson against the week, but I went, yeah, but he was playing Workington.
He scored 4 tries against Whitehaven. Me and you on a good day could score 4 tries against Whitehaven. I'm not saying it's a bad showing. I'm just saying it was a nice game for him to start in. This is going to be rather different.
Yeah. Oh, and on Tuesday, Tuesday evening, Halifax played Dewsbury.
You'd think Facts Form they're in should do that. Although Mr. Garside got a 1-match ban for his tomfoolery against us the other week. So
yeah, and I'll be interested to see both Challenge Cup finals and 1895 are on the BBC. And Chris says London appointing a full-time coach. Yeah, apparently a part-time coach from London Scholars didn't do the job right for the Broncos. Well, I wonder why. I'm sorry, but Broncos are in free fall and there's no hope of saving these now. I really don't think so. I hope I'm wrong. We need a London presence. We need a London thing in rugby league. And we need London either in the Championship or the Super League. We don't need 2 teams in the bottom division. We don't. Yeah. If that happens, they'll merge. They'll merge together. They really will. I think that'll happen. I think the Scholars will go into the conference and the Broncos will stay in the on, and Scholars will be a feeder team like they used to be. That's my feelings.
You may be correct.
I think it's a sad state of affairs for them anyway. But anyway, I think it's about time we got out of here because this has been one hell of a buzz over the last few days. To Mark, to the Marks, to Mark Hannigan, to Mark Aston, to Tasha, to Zach, to everyone who I met on Monday evening, whether he was just saying hi or just saying we love the show or anything like that. Me personally, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for one of the greatest nights of my life. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. And Katie's just joined us. Katie's just said, yeah, food and drink were expensive, not going to lie. Hope it can be a bit cheaper. Was like London prices. She's always got some more of that summer, hasn't she? She's always got some more.
We love you, Kate. We love you.
Yeah. Have you got anything to say to finish off, my man?
I think we've had a great show tonight. And again, thank you. There were loads of people I saw on Monday, old people from the club, people who used to watch at Don Valley, but not been able to come in recent years. And everyone said hello. It was great to see you all. I hope we keep seeing you. And again, for those folk who asked how I am, thanks so much. It's great that you're thinking like that. So I hope we can see you all again going forward. You know, club. As I said, I think I pitched this on the last show we did. Let's see if we can do. I mean, I say you can get a season ticket because obviously we've only played 2 home games. There's still plenty left. But later in the year, when we have got the capacity sorted out, let's see if we can do a 5-6 game deal, get people in, and then more encouragement for next year. Because I think we're going to hit, once we get these bans out of the way, people back from injuries. I think we're going to hit some good form, especially with all the home games we've got coming up. Now is the time. We need to get back in them. You know, we're at home now. We're back in Sheffield. It's easy to get to. Let's see if we can get the more people in, the better. You know, that's where we need to go. Let's just get bums on seats, and we can say that now. We've got seats for people to sit in. The other day on Monday, when we had I had to go for when I went sorry at the start of the game when I had the flag thing, then I had to come back. We were just starting to kick off, and I had to get back to my seat, which was like in the middle of a row, and I had to go past some people, and you could just see the looks on people's faces, like we haven't had to do this in ages, you know.
What do we do this for? What do we do this?
But having 800 people in there is going to be a lot better than having 800 people in Keepmo. What an atmosphere we made in that stand, and we need to keep doing that. It was amazing. Yeah.
The taxi army, everybody. We've just got a few more comments and then finished. Katie says, I loved every minute of Monday, every minute. Thanks for the flag, Deano. My pleasure. Keep that flying. Courtney Jade.
Thanks for nicking me rucksack, Kate.
Yeah. I forgot about that. That was brilliant. That was superb.
She gave it me back. It's all fine.
That was genius. He had his photograph took with the World Cups and everything, and turned around, and Katie just went, "All right, let's go in." And she just picked his bag up, and she walked off. And then Mark come towards me, and he goes, "Where's my bag?" And I went, "Oh, Katie's got it there." And he went, "Right, Katie." And she went, "Oh my God, what am I doing with this?" And it went.
I have to have my name on back. I have to put the initials on.
Oh, it was genius. There were some of these moments that will never be beaten. Courtney says it's better than I ever could imagine on Monday. Katie says promising to see all the RL Rugby League players and all getting involved. It's a rebirth. It's going to be a long process. It's going to be hard. But what a starting ground we've got, because everybody that was there will be saying the same thing as what I'm going to say, and Mark knows what I'm going to say. I can't wait for next week. That's the best thing of the lot. A lot of people was there, and they're all going, we can't wait for next week to come back. And when you've got that feeling inside, oh my God, isn't it? No matter what it is, we've got a stadium, and yeah, it may not be right, and it may not be right at the moment, but wow, what a starting block we've got. What a starting block we've got now. Amazing. I can't meet only people that came away from unhappy had witness jerseys on. That was the only type of people that had it on. Everybody else.
And then they've got to go into witness. So you know what a night.
Yeah. But anyway, we're going to get out of here. Thank you very much for all the wonderful support you showed us. Thanks for all the comments and everything you said to us on the Monday night. It was amazing. And we will be back next Monday chatting about the next week's events. But like we said, the big news today, Joel and Mikey get banned for 4 games. So it's not the 8 games we was fearing for Mikey. So we can get rid of the 2 other games in 4 days next week.
I was going to say to you, I can't do Monday next week. Should we just sort out a day? Because some people have said to me, your show's not consistent. Well, no, it isn't, because Deano works shifts. I work, but obviously got Lado.
Yeah.
And also, when we have guests, we do this when the guests do. So that's why it's inconsistent. And that's why we record them and then stick them on YouTube so you can join them when you want. But I know for a fact I can't do next Monday, Deano. But But then obviously we've got Jubilee Thursday where we're playing.
Yeah,
that's next week. We've got Jubilee Thursday. We've got Friday a bank holiday, and then we've got so
Tuesday, Wednesday
away that weekend. So we'll sort something out.
Yeah, we'll sort something. Yeah, no worries.
Or you could just do it without me, and I don't think that people will complain about that. So
yeah, they will. Yeah, yeah. So anyway, okay. See you later, guys. Love the shows. I'll watch this later. I was late today. No worries, Katie. You take care, sweetheart. No. Thanks to everybody. Eagles are home. That's all I'm going to say. We're home. And match worn Wembley jersey. Thank you. But it was worn by the mascot. Thank you. But I finally got a white one. I finally got one. Anyway, mate, you take care of yourself. Love to the family and everything. And we'll see you next week. And everybody, I'll see you next week for another edition of Eagles Chat. Take care, guys. Good night. God bless. Bye-bye.